So I'm going to make a video today on how to make the Cricut Tool Organizer that will go in here to organize the blades. Okay, so you can find it in the projects in Design Space, and this one doesn't have the instructions, but you're going to be using craft foam. It needs to be at least 9 inches on one side, and just like, you know, pretty thin. You're going to use 7 pieces of this, and they can be different colors. They don't have to be, but each layer will be cut a little bit differently to layer it together. And you're going to need to use the rotary blade, which I'm going to switch my machine to have the rotary blade in just a second. And you're going to need to use the flannel setting. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and take out my knife blade, and I'm going to swap it carefully for the rotary blade, and I'm going to make sure that this wheel here, where you can see that it's got the ridges here, and obviously that's how it moves it. I'm going to make sure that it's touching the inside here so that it can move the blade properly. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to go to customize. And I'm just going to make sure the size is correct. So we have 8.5 by 3.76. So that's perfect. And we've got the different layers. So we're going to go ahead and click Make It. And so since each one is a different color, that means that we'll be able to use a different, it'll just separate it onto different mats. So we can do one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my fabric grip knife. And so based on the alignment, we want to make sure that we have it lengthwise here to match up how it shows on there. Okay, so now I'm going to click Continue. I'm going to connect it to my Cricut. All right, so under Materials, the setting you want to use is Flannel. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And then it says Load Rotary Blade, which we already have in there. So we're going to put this over to the side for right now. And we are going to load our mat in here. We make sure that it's going under the white guides there. Okay. And we will press the button once it's ready. Alright, so we have the first piece here, and we're going to go ahead and take this off. That was a nice easy cut. And we're going to take this piece off here. I'm going to go get a tool that's going to help me. I had a Cricut many years ago before they did all these cool fancy things, and I have my little spatula, so I'm going to use it to help me lift up the edges here. Try to be careful so I don't rip the foam. There we've got our first piece. So now I'm going to take off these bits and get the next piece of foam ready to be cut. Okay, I have the next piece of foam loaded on my mat, but we need to get our device ready here. So I'm just going to have to put in here Flannel again, and I'm going to mark it as favorite so that it'll come up easier next time. Okay, so we are ready to load this in here. I'm going to move my first piece of foam here. Let's load that in, and we'll go ahead and tell it to start cutting. All right, so that one is ready. We're going to unload. We're going to go ahead and peel off the extra foam here. Okay, because this is the extra foam, so if it comes off, that's okay. We'll just peel it. here like this. This. Okay. Alright, and now we're going to use our little tool here to help us get the edges up. Alright, so here we've got our second layer of the foam. One thing I am noticing is I just have to be careful as I'm pulling it. It seems like it's stretching the foam a little bit, so one piece seems a little more stretched out than the other. I'll put those there for right now. Okay, so I'm going to load on my next piece of foam. Now I am using different colors for each layer, but you don't have to, but it does kind of help you to know which one comes first and second and third and all of that. Okay, so I have my next piece, and now I have saved, you can't see it, so let me put it here. I have saved Flannel as one of my favorites, so then I can just click on it. I don't have to search for it anymore. Now it's ready for me to load the mat and for it to start cutting the next layer. Alright, so we have our third layer of foam cut. Okay, layer number 4 is done. Layer number 5. Okay, piece number 6 is done. And now for our final layer. Okay, so we have all of our pieces cut out. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what the finished product looks like. So here you can see it in the tray, and it's got, so the little notches line up with the tabs here and on the side. So here I've got my fine point blade is in there, fits nicely, and you can close it and keep it stored. And let me just show you when I take it out. I have mine kind of glued together. I'm not sure. It's okay. I don't know if I would recommend it, but so basically you're going to assemble it in the reverse order that you cut it. So this was the first one that I cut, the second one, third one, etc. And this was the last one. So when you're putting it in, you're going to put the last one in first, go in reverse order, and then the last one that you put in will be the very first one you cut. And when you put them in, of course, you line up the notches with those and with the thing on the side here, and you put it in, and then you can, and mine kind of peeled a little bit when I was pulling it away, so it's stretched maybe a little bit, but it still works just fine for the purpose that I want it to. So that is it put together. Hope you enjoyed, and that you're able to have success with this too.